For the last week at the Lincoln School in Brookline, Massachusetts, it's been lessons on measurement. Today, first grade teacher Joe Riley has divided his class into 3 groups. One group, working in pairs, measures tunnels in 3 different ant farms.
Are the tunnels a straight line?
No.
In the hallway, another group measures out the length of several dinosaurs. The length of each dinosaur was found in their class readings. And the third group...
So your problem is to figure out a way to measure the distance from our window all the way down to the playground. And then be able to measure it with a ruler and tell us how far it is. What do you think, Whit?
Throw, that.
What do you mean that?
The links.
These things, these links?
Yeah.
Okay, do we throw them? Maybe we'd rather put them out. Yeah. Attach them.
Each one of them together, and then you throw them out the window, and think in your head like a ruler how much a foot down to the
Well, you may not even have to think in your head, because what could you do after you have them thrown down to the bottom and you've measured it? What could you could count them? What else could you do? Francis, what's your idea?
Well, my idea is like to drop the links down, and then after that, measure the links. Measure.
Where would we do the measuring? Well, when we throw the things out of our window, do we have to measure it while it's on the side of the building?
No.
Why not?
Because it would be too hard.
So how can we measure it?
Bring it back up, and then somewhere lay it down and with a ruler or something.
I like it. Do you guys like that plan? Okay, you're going to be at that window. Francis.
Teams are now assigned a window in the classroom. Then one member from each team is escorted downstairs to the asphalt playground by an assistant teacher.
Now, Teresa, you just tell us when we're at the bottom, okay?
We're at the bottom. We're going to cut. Okay, I think it's going to pull it back up there. Okay, Teresa, you need to catch those links.
We're almost running out of red.
Okay. That was very fine up, Teresa. Keep going, we're trying.
Okay, Teresa, down. Okay.
Stop!
What? Okay, this is your measure. Now don't add these into the other ones. Carefully bring them up. I'm gonna get Carlene to do hers again.
Yep.
Okay. Now don't you think, come on over here, let's talk about how we're gonna measure. This is what's gonna happen now. I'm gonna go out in the hallway and check on the people who are doing the dinosaur measuring. And your job is to measure the strings or the links or the yarn that you brought up. But I'm going to give each group only one of these. So, is there somebody that can show us how to use one of these for measuring the whole business? So I know you know what you're doing. Chris, you want to show us? How are you going to do that? I gave the instructions on the ruler because I still have some children who are a bit uncomfortable with that format of putting the object down, putting your finger there. It's a task that we need to continue to remind kids about and show them how to do it, and eventually everybody will get it.
In the hallway, the dino teams are now using 2 non-standard measurements of their choice to measure their dinosaurs.
As kids continue to get comfortable with the standardized measurement, I think it's important for them to also maintain the use of objects that they are comfortable with. Many of them are getting comfortable using the ruler as a measuring form. I'm interested in them being able to use both and also use both to compare sizes. I think it's important to have both things available and used in a classroom, gearing with your expectations towards at the end of the year where kids are mostly moving into a standard system of measurement.
A different kind of measurement is going on at the ant farm.
What I'm looking for most in first grade, and you got to remember these are 6-year-olds, is an interest and ability to think about solving a problem. I'm less interested at this point in the game in exact language. The tunnels go all around in squiggly ways. So what could we have that would bend like that? What could we use that would bend like that? What do you think, Matt?
A squiggly thing?
What kind of squiggly thing? Nick?
Those.
What are those called, those things?
Links.
The links? We could possibly use the links. Any other ideas?
Cut the yard and see how long the tunnel is, and maybe
So you'd cut it to the length of the tunnel? What do you think, Alex?
you could cut it a foot long, and you could do the same thing with, but it's like using the ruler, but it just doesn't have numbers on, but you know it's a foot.
Because you've already measured it to a foot.
So you could use it like that.
That sounds like a good plan, too.
Okay. This is a foot long.
There's a little one going
That doesn't lead to it though.
How are we going to use these to measure all these tunnels that are in here? How can we use
They
these?
could connect like to the other tunnels. A little bit too long.
This is the link is too long? Well,
That's not so long. Say, oh yeah, that's good.
perfect. Let's put that in our done pile. We can have these be the done tunnels over here. And then at the end, what should we do with all these things?
Like add them up. We have to just find out the solution.
Okay. What I want to know, Alex, is how long all those strings put together are with a ruler. So what are you going to do?
1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot,
What,
plus
do you think
9.
Pardon?
It's 1 foot, it's 12, 12, 12 plus 9.
7, 12, 28.
These window measurers are using a calculator to help solve their addition problem.
30, 12.
So far, we've only done adding, and they use it as a tool. They use it as a way to figure things out, and as far as I'm concerned, it's an appropriate thing for them to be using. I am interested in kids knowing their numbers, being able to legitimize what they come up with, and I think that ability to go back and share with your classmates how you did it, what you did, and what your results were are real important. Sean, what did you choose to measure? I'm sorry.
Me and Keith decided to measure Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Keith, how long?
50 feet.
How did you know where 50 feet was?
I used 50 feet with the ruler, and Sean was doing this, so when I went like this with the ruler, we get it right on 50, right?
How many armadillos long was the Tyrannosaurus Rex?
It was 28 and 1/3.
Armadillos long. And how many bottles long was your Tyrannosaurus?
27.
27. Okay. Ant people. Remember back to the ants. How did you figure out how to measure all those little squiggly lines?
With a rope, what we did is we like put it down there and we put it all through and taped it on there.
And how long is that one?
3 feet and 9 inches.
3 feet and 9 inches. What did you guys choose to use?
We took lengths and like see how long they were with lengths. Yeah, like 1 length was right here and 2 lengths was there.
So you put the links in a pile, and then what'd you do when you were all done?
We counted them up and we had a yardstick. 37.
You had 37 links?
No, we had 4 feet.
And it came to 4 feet long?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent, nicely done. Well, now the last group that we had was the people who measured the distance from our window down to the playground. What did you and Teresa use?
We used the ruler, and we used these like links down, and then we measured. She had 30 foots of 12, and I added
30
them up,
sections
but
of feet.
sometimes
You're right.
I forgot the number, and it came up to 360
Inches, right? Yeah. Carlene, what's the distance? How many feet?
28.
She measured 28 feet. Okay, Chris, you and Joe Booker, what did you get for a distance when you two measured?
We got 16 and 8 inches.
Okay, Carlene's group and Whitney's group came up with a measurement of 28, 30 feet out the window. those are fairly close. One other group came up with 16. How could that happen? And it may mean that we remeasure. This is starting to look at accuracy issue. It may mean that we remeasure. It may mean that we take their things that they use, the links and the yarn and the string, and remeasure what they measured. I'll save their pieces, and we all might do it as a group, but we're going to start talking about accuracy.
Mr. Riley ends today's math lesson with a whole class activity.
I think we should measure the Tyrannosaurus rex in first graders.
Yes.
Yeah.
How would we do it? How would we measure how many feet long a Tyrannosaurus rex is with a first grader?
Like when one of us lays down and you put a piece of or someone stays there and marks it, and then we could lift the person up, like if we did Irene.
I think that sounds great. Like we lift Irene up and we plop her down, and we lift Irene up and we plop her down. But we have so many of us here. Why don't we all do it?
Yeah, but we could.
So why don't you do this? Why don't you get online, and we'll see how many first graders long a Tyrannosaurus rex is. Okay, this is the first person here. So lie with your feet right down here. Alex, now put your head to Keith, and your feet this way. Charlotte, come on down. Do you get what we're doing? First grade is a series of ever-increasing expectations for kids.
Okay, come on down.
As kids get more and more familiar and comfortable doing something, learning something, trying something out, your expectations should rise so that they continue to do more. So that the next step here is to look at accuracy.
Okay, come on, Anna. Come on, Lisa. Come on down.
Clearly they enjoyed what they were doing. And the next step is to look at what they did, what kind of results they have. We'll leave the tape in the hallway, and we'll get feedback from other classes as well. And what's important to remember that it doesn't stop with what happened in today's lesson. Let's count how many first graders long a Tyrannosaurus rex is. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Oh, but look at Matt. What should we call Matt? This is the line right here. Should we call it 13 and a half?
Yeah.
So how many first graders long is a Tyrannosaurus rex? 13 and a half, I think. Because this part of Matt here is not part of the Tyrannosaurus. So we'll call a half a Matt. All right? 13 and a half first graders long. Would you follow Andrea back to the room, put away the stuff, and get ready for lunch?
How did Mr. Riley use problem solving to engage students? Discuss the use of both standard and non-standard measurement concurrently. What was the advantage of letting students decide which methods and tools to use?